Netflix, there's countless games on there that just run through the cycle. Also, I guess what do we do? I honestly don't know like what's TV or what's film etiquette, but yeah, I guess I just hit the record button.
Yeah, I guess we just go with it. Try not to get too crazy. You probably get crazier with stories than I can.
Nah, I hear you. I agree. I agree. Well, I'm not trying to get too crazy either,
But yeah,
because we'll try to like put this up on the YouTubes and the Spotify's. But I guess. Hey, what's up? I just want to introduce myself. I'm D, and this
it's
is
Dame. Two kids from New York City, Baruch Projects.
grew up together in the Lower East Side, and just over here kicking it, recording, having a conversation, trying to see how this whole thing goes. Have you ever done anything like this? Just
I've done it for other people, like other people who've had like reoccurring podcasts and have people over. My boy, I think you met him before, Andrew. Remember Andrew? You said you went to go say hi to him one time, and you tapped him on the shoulder, and he kept on like moving because he probably didn't recognize you.
got you. Yeah, I do remember him. I mean, you're more natural and fluent under the conversation and to the TV on camera because you actually work in camera, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I do some acting. I just finished. I did 4 days on Happy Gilmore 2, but that was just like background work. But I got some. It looked like they took some good shots. Like normally it's like wide pans of the audience and it's people spectating to see motherfuckers golf. But they had moments where the camera coming through as the people cheering and shit like that. And I got to meet Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's in the movie. I got to say what's up to my son Malo. But I did that. Then 2 days for New York Homicide, which is on Oxygen. I played like the murderer for like I don't know if you ever remember the Club Kids, the story about the Club Kids, or they had a movie called Party Monsters from Macaulay Culkin.
I think I do.
Basically, like Lower Manhattan teenagers that were real eccentric. They were in the club scene at a young age, and drugs got into play. And my character has to fucking hammer somebody to death, which is always great. I got like 4 bodies as an actor.
You got some good scenes in.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there's no words in there because it's like a reenactment with like narration. But I'm all up in that video. I had to shave my facial hair, looking crazy. You probably saw that. I had to. They called it the devilish goatee.
Did they make you do that on set with Happy Gilmore too?
No. So the thing with Happy Gilmore 2 is they wanted everybody to dress like kind of wild because if you remember, he's the odd man in golf. So people come and watch his golf in like fucking leather jackets and fucking, people there. Like I wore a bathrobe one of the 4 days. I wore a bathrobe with a bucket hat. But I had to get the facial hair done a day prior to New York Homicide. So I had to do 1 day with that weird ass facial hair in Happy Gilmore. That's the day I met fucking Bad Bunny. And he was probably looking at me like, yo, what's up with homie? Like, why he did that to his mustache?
Meet any other celebrities out there? Anything else? I know you alluded on your Facebook page, on your Instagram, to some other personas that you have met.
Oh, I would say there's a lot of celebrities in the movie. There's like 2 chicks from WWF. I'm not sure their name, but if you said it, I'd be like, yeah, that one. Reggie Bush is in the movie. Shooter McGavin is still in the movie. He still has some of his friends that you see in a lot of his movies, but a lot of them you don't. Like, there's a couple of dudes that I realize actually are his friends that handle, like, filming and technical stuff. But they direct pretty much in characters, like, uniform. Like, they're dressed to be one of the spectators, too. So when they say cut or whatever, they can hop in the scene and they get their own close-up. So that's kind of cool to notice. But I didn't get to really meet any more than that. They keep, especially non-union guys, they keep us in like a cage with like no heat.
Got you. Yeah, they have a lot of producers and stuff behind the stage. I'm more of that type of person where I'll connect some lights and I'm behind the scenes and I don't really do anything. I haven't worked on any particular movie sets, but I have worked at like the Javits Center and other places where they put big events. Comic-Con, the car show is another great one that they put on every year at the Javits Center.
Yeah.
And I've actually worked around those particular places, and it's always cool to see what they're doing new and innovation, and they're always pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, but if you wanted to do that, that shit is they pay good, especially on like movie sets. They have their own union, so you could get some good money. People, easily make six figures doing that. And you have a lot of the skills already. You kind of like more of a production guy, anyway. Like you understand systems of the way the wires got to go a little bit easier than the average person.
Yeah, I'm definitely way more into technology. You're into sports. You be playing a lot of sports. What you
I
playing
did
right now?
so I used to play a lot more basketball. I used to get like at least 4 runs in a day at one point, and that's now that I'm mid-30s, you get that type of repetition. It really helps. Now I play at best once a week basketball. My softball team, the Owls, we we took a couple seasons off, so I just been like not
Softball?
as active. Yeah, but it was great because I played those sports at like a higher level as a kid. So now I'm playing in these rec leagues, and the softball one's co-ed, and sometimes there's a woman pitcher, but I don't care.
Speaking on
You go
baseball,
find the ball.
how do you feel about the Yankees losing in the worst half inning of baseball to like ever happen? That shit was like the worst half inning of baseball.
It's been
ever.
it's been a rough like month for me. Lost my job. Yankees lost. And then there was the election.
And then the election hit.
So I've
you
taken
too.
3 straight L's, but I'm still thriving. I'm unstoppable. But yeah, the Yankees L was tough because that was the one, I haven't experienced in a while. The Yankees championships, as a kid, they used to always happen. Now, they don't happen as often.
They don't come around
Not
as often.
Yeah, they're a little more special now. Back in the day, we won again. I wouldn't even watch this series. We beat the Padres.
Even the best player in baseball can't save us. He did terrible, and he was another reason why we lost.
Yeah.
I
He
would
made
say
an error too.
He
Like
started
hitting the
that-
ball is hard as shit, but you got to make those errors that they made. Those are unexcusable.
Yeah, exactly. The drop fly ball is unexcusable.
What the fuck are we doing?
And the not covering first base is unexcusable as well. Like, come on, bro.
I always forget, but I love to remember. You used to play baseball.
Yeah.
You used to be a solid first baseman and invested in a first baseman and went to the Little League All-Star team in like West Virginia with me for OLS.
I do remember that. And I was playing first base. You still want that?
I'll take another hit. I'll probably put it out.
Yeah. So we was playing, and I had covered first, and that's actually such a rookie play. That's why that one hurt so badly, because even in Little League, we would do the same thing. If I catch the ball, the pitcher covers me at first, and I just underhand it to him, and it's a very easy play. Any highlights you remember from when we was children playing baseball?
I remember a lot of things, but I remember when our first game. So we took like a bunch of buses to West Virginia, a bunch of fucking 10-year-olds on a bus to West Virginia, and the first game we played, it was starting to get real cloudy and dark, and it was feeling weird because really it feels like countryside where you see all these buildings, but now you can see it all. And there's a kid in front of me, and I swear to God, when you were little, you were always a little bit scared of the ball. Fucker was pitching gas. Yeah, popping the leather. And I'm like, all right, go up there, hopefully they throw 4 balls, or they throw one right in the middle. I'm gonna try to slap it somewhere. I was small back then.
Yeah.
So the guy in front of me, he's up at bat, and the first pitch hits him in the head. And that's the first time I see somebody get hit in the head.
Oh, man.
He went down. The fucking parents and the other team came out. Everybody was there. And it was a long time for me to be like, shit, I got to go next. I don't remember the at-bat. I want to say I walked because I was working a lot of walks back then. But I remember that distinctly. I remember when I first pitched. I remember the first game I pitched where it was, I had also like a Jordan was a sweatband, thinking I was Derek Jeter. I started the game at shortstop. But I remember a lot of little weird things.
Must have been nervous going up next after you just watched somebody get hit.
In the head. That shit made a sound I never heard on a baseball field.
I do remember coming off the bus and just seeing a bunch of woods and forests nearby the hotel we were staying. And then when we finally got onto the field, most of those like 10-year-olds were bigger than us. They were a lot bigger than us. I was like, yo, what type of cornbread fed
we
stuff
played
we
played the same
here?
team that Danny Almonte was on, but he wasn't on the team, I guess, that year or whatever. But it was the Cubs, I think it was, from the Bronx. And I'll never forget, dude, I don't know if he was taking too big of a lead. Something happened where I was at short or second, and I like faked the tag on him, and I put the glove on him, and he looked at me, he said, "No toca." Like that. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. You talking to me? Wow. Like, shut up. You playing fucking Little League. But they had a different swag to them. They knew they was nice. And they probably mercy ruled us. I don't think we got a win out there, by the way.
I do remember stealing third base and being out by a mile.
Yo,
I do remember that.
you went. I don't think they gave you the sign to steal third. You went to steal third, and you slid 40 feet away from third. Missed third. You were nowhere near third base. He tags you. He says safe. You then have to get up and walk 2 or 3 steps to the base.
I just remember being called safe and stealing third, and everybody was like, no! I just remember seeing everyone's face with panic on it, saying no, as I was already in mid-stride.
What were you thinking?
Forward.
You was like, I'm going to fucking do it?
I don't remember, honestly. I was like, yo, they're not paying attention to me. I got this. And I guess I just thought I had a good lead on them, but I obviously didn't because everybody tells me I was out by a mile, but
like I
was called safe, and I always kind of remember it different, but
like you was more than this away from the bag. Like you was like that much away from the bag, maybe more than that. Like you slid, and it just didn't carry, it just ended. The slide.
I remember sliding head first, and I remember being quite a few inches.
You had to get up and walk to the base.
I did kind of get up and start walking forward. I do remember that.
When I was in,
yes, I was.
So I went to, people at home, I went to a prep boarding school for high school. I went to 2 of them, one in Connecticut and one in Pennsylvania. When I was in Connecticut, so in varsity, school only went up to 9th grade, and we had, I don't know, somebody got hurt or something, so we had somebody catching that never plays catching before. So the coaches agreed, like, to speed up the game on, like, a pass ball that doesn't matter. Like, let's say if shit hits the dirt, he don't catch it, go to the backstop. They'll have somebody just grab the ball, and the umpire would just give another ball just to keep the game going fast instead of the catcher having to get up, go get the ball, and do that 1,000 times a game. So it was working. But the umpire at one point forgot what was going on. There's a man on second or third or some shit like that, and there's a pass ball. This isn't the case where you give me a new ball because this guy's supposed to be allowed to run. But the umpire gives him a ball. So now there are 2 baseballs in play. And the shit looked like something out of a movie, like The Little Giants. Like, cause coaches started running on the field. I didn't know what the fuck to do.
That's hilarious. I mean, I actually haven't played much of high school and college sports, but I actually just did a lot of Little League stuff.
You never just want to go buy a basketball and go find a court and shoot around?
I run.
Okay.
Honestly,
I run inside the house.
I have a treadmill, so I ran about 2.9 miles. I usually run about 2 miles. I was doing 2.5 miles straight, but then I'm like, I get tired really fast, so I'll do a mile and then I'll step back onto the treadmill maybe 5-10 minutes later and run another 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
I'll be wanting to go out to the track.
Running on a treadmill is so much easier than running outside.
Yeah, but it's like, I think it's better for you to be out there and get that fresh air into your lungs. Because when you're running, your lungs are working. You know, you get that coating of that fresh air. You around a bunch of trees and shit.
I agree. And it's a lot harder just because the air is denser, the terrain is a lot different, and maybe you're running on gravel, maybe you're running uphill, downhill, and everything is so much different when you're running out.
Yeah.
In here, I can control the environment. I can just set it to
like a
as
hamster.
high as it go and go forward. Exactly. Just hamster on my wheel. Exactly. So, you were touching on a couple of them other L's that was going on in your life. I mean, if you don't mind talk about how you feel about that election, because
I think a lot of people probably voted against what they believe in, and I think a lot of people view it like WWF. And
did you see the Amish people came out in record numbers and won Pennsylvania for Donald Trump? That's what the headline was. We can run that headline if you guys like. But yeah, there's a headline where the Amish people came and won Pennsylvania. I fell asleep after Pennsylvania because after Pennsylvania, I knew there was mathematically
there's
way she was gonna.
It's like a thing that Donald Trump dominates the uneducated vote. So,
I mean,
take that tidbit.
I've heard that numerous times, and it's
I think Amish
like,
people do the home what is it, the home education, the home tutoring.
It's insulting because there's many people who were just tired of the same stuff. If you check the numbers, Democrats have been in office a lot more than Republicans have, and it's just like people's just been tired. And whether it's bad or good, I mean, we're gonna get some type of a change. I mean,
I tired of like he was president already. What was life utopia then?
Not really,
they were flipping cop cars on fire. Upside down cop cars on the street lit on fire. There was protests every fucking day, and then we had COVID.
Before COVID, exactly. Before COVID, he was doing okay.
You could ride Obama's wave, yeah. After Obama did 8 years, you think it just all collapsed because he's not showing up to the Oval Office one day? He set it up, yeah, and they fucked it up.
And then COVID hit, and a lot of people, lost their life, and it was a hard time, lost their money, and didn't make any money. I mean, me personally, I'll be honest with everybody, I made money. It was,
it's a good time for you?
It was a pandemic. It was definitely a pandemic because I took out quite a bit out of my 401k, and I knew that investments were low, and I was going to make a ton if I just stuck to some blue chip stocks and left them in there for the next couple years. And yeah, that's how I made a good substantial amount of change.
It's interesting always to see which stocks do it for you. Like I have I own Axon. It does the body cams for most police forces. And they have like a subscription based model where they're gonna hold all your fucking data in the cloud for you, and then you could always access it for court cases or whatever you need. And their shit has been like, that's my by far winningest stock percentage wise. It's almost up 1,000%, so like 900 some percent.
In what time frame?
Well, I've held it for like probably 10 years, but over the last 5 maybe, actually probably over the last like 6. I would say a lot. Like it was maybe over 300% till then. Like the last 6 years, probably 600%.
I mean, I've only really
it went up 28% today.
Been investing for like 4 years, but before that, I was investing in Bitcoin as well, because Bitcoin for me always had that presence, and yeah, you could put a couple $1,000s and use it in certain places online. I'm not gonna get too much in depth on that right on this episode, but we could talk about that in a later time. But there's a lot of nefarious places you can use your Bitcoin, and it always just seemed like something where I can get something simple and not have to worry about any dangers of having to use real money and be outside in the real world. It's just digital money.
Do you think it's truly untraceable? Like,
No.
where you said you just think it's like much, much harder?
It's much harder, and there's different type of altcoins that actually do have some type of anonymity, and they work pretty well. And yeah, they're just lower coins and they fluctuate a lot more. So I don't have too many altcoins because I honestly think that them shits always. I mean, I know quite a bit of people who paid off their mortgage off of Dogecoin, to be honest.
I know I have a couple $100 that I bought like Dogecoin in 2015. That's got to be worth like 5 figures now. I just can't. Oh well, the company where I held it, they're like going through like bankruptcy and like court filing, and apparently I didn't put paperwork in time, and they're liquidation or some shit.
Oh man, yeah. I had a similar problem with Coinbase. Coinbase had honestly told me that they didn't want my business anymore, and that if I didn't withdraw my currency within a certain amount of time, that they were gonna, I guess, parch it, is gonna go into the void. I have no idea what happens
Why didn't
to
want your business anymore?
to lost Bitcoin. They never actually made it completely 100% why they were doing that, but my guess is my Bitcoin or my small coins had been there for a long time, and I hadn't made any purchases in quite a while, so they figured that maybe I wasn't gonna be doing it, and that's why they said. I did read on Reddit that quite a few other people had gotten the same message, and yeah, I just went ahead and bought myself what's called the cold wallet.
It was like you just have like a USB somewhere and a password
Yeah,
in the walls.
basically that's basically what it is. Something like that. It's called the cold wallet. So I can eventually connect it to the internet and access my Bitcoin if I would like to. I can also Bluetooth it to my phone, but you need to have some way to still be access the internet in order to use this currency, and because it won't be fully 100% recognized by the blockchain till it goes through its verification. So I can actually scan you a code on your phone that I can send coins to, and we're both offline, but we would have to get online before that transaction is authenticated. Correct. So there's a lot of different things with Bitcoin, but they have continuously, you have them articles where you see people that
A lot of people have gotten scammed out of money.
not only scammed, they had the queen of Bitcoin to get Bitcoin. She was the queen of it was a scam though. Look her up. I forgot her name. She's still on the FBI's most wanted list. I don't even think they found her. I don't even think they found her. She was a known face. She must
in Cambodia getting crazy.
She must have took a crazy flight, and just right before the feds caught on to her, she's still on the top 10, if I'm not mistaken, of wanted people on the FBI list. But yeah, she defrauded people, saying that as soon as it was a pyramid scheme. So basically, as soon as anyone bought this coin, but it was a pyramid scheme on a global scale to the internet. So that's why it became so big. You know, these people are having you selling knives, and yo, you want to sell these knives? I got these knives. You know, this so much sophisticated, so more sophisticated than that. And yeah. So,
A lot of people have lost too much bread for me. Motherfuckers bought those
NFTs I've always been against, honestly.
People were losing their minds over this. They were buying JPEGs of doped out monkeys.
Exactly.
Literally, like these monkeys that look like they just haven't slept in 3 days.
And I had coworkers and other people that I do speak on this matter with, and they also were in that trend. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay if you think that this is cool and it's coming from a certain place and you're just collecting this, and it's one of one or one of whatever it is, just like a trading card, because that's all.
Take a screenshot.
Do you know
it's one of two?
Do you know what? But do you know what an NFT really
I know
is at its core?
I know they tried to explain it as that, but you don't need the imagery and the extra sale for this product. Like he's supposed to make it seem like it's
at its
core bigger function or some type of like network, but you could just sell the network and the coin. That you don't need to dress it up in this crazy artwork.
It begs the question. I can record this song off of my radio on the voice recorder, or I can actually buy it off of iTunes. So it's essentially one of those things. So yeah, there's gonna be ways to pirate everything that's on the internet, regardless. But we're speaking about what the function of an NFT is at its core, and I can run through that a little bit, and I can explain to you. It's a locked URL that is one of one basically. They attach it to something else, but it's a locked URL that's a one of one, and you can basically put any type of media into it, and it's like getting a piece of digital stamped watermark, whatever it is. So just like trading cards, if you're doing it for the love of it, for the fun of it, I don't see a problem with it. But when you think you're gonna like sell this for 1,000x, it's not happening.
I think it's crazy either way. You're just collecting something that's just like we're not gonna think of ever again in like 3 years.
It's it could
Like,
be.
I feel like I talk about these drunk monkey NFTs more than the people that own them now. Like it's like I'm like, oh, don't forget, everyone bought into that bullshit, but it's a bunch of nonsense.
But we're getting into an age of digital stuff, and that's a way for them to watermark their product digitally. I mean, they have this new Pokemon thing that is a TCG thing where now you can open up digital packs on their app and you could play them in battle. We could have our phones and we can sit here and battle and go into battles and open up rare cards that other people don't find in these packs, or if they open a substantial amount of packs, they're gonna eventually find it. But it's a transition from physical things to digital things. You could be against it or you could be with it. I mean, I personally still am for physical media.
There's no point for like the biggest names in the game, the real market movers, to want to adapt to a new system when they already have their system rigged. When they already have it, like why would like
It's cutting costs at its core. It's cutting costs at its core.
But like, let's talk about the song example.
They don't have to
Most
ship
people-
you anything. They don't have to print anything. They don't have to do anything. They can just code this into a word and it gets sent through the internet. It's them trying to adapt and make more money off of the consumer.
Yeah, and people just think consumers just have unlimited money. Like there comes a point where it's like, I'll figure out another way to listen to this song. Like somebody's always also going to look to cut the market, cutthroat on that anyway. And the system now seems cheaper for the consumer. You could pay your $10 a month and get every song on demand. So it's hard to like, unless you want like the very first digital copy of the new Taylor Swift, but there's no basis of what that would be worth. It's still a wild, wild west game. There's no historic pricing on this. You just hope you can find another sucker.
I agree, and that's why I always thought selling NFTs were a way to be like, oh, I got this and it's worth this much, but there's no buyers on the market, and that's why I was always against it. Honestly, I always was never
what it's sold for, in my opinion, on a lot
for
of things.
NFTs, but I seen some cool stuff that if it was cool, you could buy it, and if it was cool collecting it like it was a trading card, I could see the lore in it. But honestly, if you if you're gonna think about 10xing, 1,000xing your money, it is not gonna happen.
I think people think that though. I think there's like you could probably manifest some luck into there, but the odds are just not in the favor to think you're gonna pull. And I also don't trust shit digitally. Anything electronically, I think it'd just be way too manipulated. I'll play poker, but I won't play digital poker, even though I still believe something in that fucking shuffler, or when you play blackjack, there's something going on I'm still getting jerked out of, because there's no way I fucking lose this much. But I wouldn't trust it anyway. Everything's built in this hyper capitalism.
You could go to Vegas and play in front of these super hyper realistic slot machines that'll have you just gouged out, like you're just your eyes are all over the place with these colors. Your sensations are all over the place.
I did like a 12-hour stint, probably more, of just straight gambling, probably more. But like you start hearing the in the fucking back of your head. I went so bad one time that I fucking, on my way home, I downloaded a digital like slot game, and I had that shit on my phone for like 2-3 days, and I was just on the phone just hitting a button.
I know me and you used to play poker.
Yeah, some action in that. There's some strategy in that. I'm hitting a button for a digital lever to go down, and then to tell me if I won or lost.
It's just
And they do it so much where in your last roll you win a little bit more to roll a little bit more. But 199 you get 50 more rolls. Fucking hate it here.
That's a. Are you gambling with real money or
No,
is this?
I wasn't putting nowhere real money. I'll be cheap with that online money. I'm like a grandmother. I don't like putting my card online.
I mean, I do have personal friends of mine that play online blackjack, and they put real money, and sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, just like they do on any other gambling place.
I feel like though they lose a lot more sometimes.
I think it gives you just enough hope.
Cause I gamble like every day. I gotta put a parlay in tonight. Actually, that's another thing I do is I put out the sports picks. I don't know where I put my phone.
Right there, right behind you.
I put out the sports picks. Oh, I got time. They do all right.
Sports picks.
They do all right. I got a little YouTube where I put out the sports picks.
Do you remember your YouTube's name?
Yeah,
You wanna
money line grind? Like if you're betting on a money line in the game, which is pretty much overall winner, and then grind because typically if you're picking the favorites, you're not going to win back as much. But it's a daily grind so that you just make money. Like the goal of it is just to be profitable. I haven't done many $10 parlays that win you $1,000, but I've done 9 picks in a row that hit. So if you bet $100 per bet, that's on you. Whatever your thing is.
So you are profitable.
Yeah. So it's
gotcha.
It fluctuates, but it's right now. Since I've been doing it for a year, it's so profitable that for the existence of this, it'd be very very hard for it to dip, like
below.
Like I'm up like maybe 50 units, so it would be like it would
where you've actually started from. I hear you. If you do anything consistently and there's money in it, there's a strategy in it, I believe you can make money. I don't really gamble. I do gamble every once in a while.
You was gambling on
stocks.
No, that's not this shit.
The fights.
No,
once in a blue.
The fucking currency pricing. What is that called?
Oh, Forex.
Forex.
The foreign exchange market. I've lost quite a few.
That was the craziest shit I ever saw. We were just watching a live graph go like this.
I've lost
and then
quite a
stop.
Oh no! What you're talking about?
That shit was crazy.
He's talking about damn. What is the name of that? It's part of Forex because they bet on the Forex, but Forex moves so slow that it bets on the smallest decimal of it. Binary options. There we go. I knew I would remember what that is. And people would tell you that there's so many strategies, there's so many graphs and things to put up on that chart, but at the end of the day, it is such a gamble because it's a up and down on a time limit.
I never seen nothing like that in my life. You put $50 for 5 seconds, and that shit go crazy on the screen.
You can.
And then you're like, $50 down.
I mean, you're exaggerating on the 5 second. I think that the smallest increment they have is 30 seconds or something like that. It is something along those lines.
That shit was exhilarating.
Seconds, but yeah, they have whole schools dedicated to it that will tell you that there's a whole. I mean, I'm sure there probably is if you study it enough, the same way you would do anything else. But if you're just someone who doesn't have the time and the money to spend to learn this skill, it never actually works out because you'll end up losing. And that's kind of where I was at with Forex because I lost maybe like $2,000 and I was like, do I keep on doubling down? Am I gonna learn at 8? Am I gonna learn at 10?
16.
But when am I gonna learn? So then I figured, you know what, I already have a skill that I can press and it works pretty well, which is my option trading on the regular stock market and as well as my regular buying and selling of my stocks. Those make money, and yeah, it just feels like it's another skill you have to pay to learn. It's always
I feel like there's always something, and then it'd be like, we got a school for that.
Yeah, and then somebody has a school for it, and you can find almost all the knowledge on YouTube if you find.
Maybe it increases your odds of profit a little bit, but I don't think it's foolproof because the person that knows all this information be too busy just making themselves all the money.
You know,
it just increases your odds.
But these are constantly fluctuating circumstances when these people have these
Okay.
things, because they're going off of news, they're going off of the same thing, kind of like the stock market, but the stock market is more on a degree where it goes and you can track it.
But like,
For me,
yeah, but when you're talking like fractions of a penny, that's so volatile that like the macro sense of the news, good or bad, it's still going to fluctuate up and down and on that like micro level.
yeah, and people will tell you, oh, at this time this news is gonna come out and it's gonna be good, so at this certain time you might want to buy this currency. And that's how forex change. And forex is has a way bigger market cap than the stock market.
But yeah, that makes sense.
A way bigger, because it has the stock market in it as well. You can track the
world's money.
Nasdaq and the S&P, and they have other types of like oil and commodities that you can invest as well, that go up and down just like anything else would. And it's a digital world, so how do we know that these people have how much gold you just put into the forex market? But it's just a digital world. It's just the same thing I was saying, that
That's
everything
why I
is
was saying
moving
I
in
don't
that
trust that digital shit.
everything is moving in that direction, to where I wouldn't be surprised if trading cards turn into
They've done it.
NFTs.
Yeah, they've done
and
it. I bought.
and there won't be
I've tried it
anymore.
out. I've bought a pack of digital basketball cards to see what it was about. It was like $10 or some shit like that. It was the most lackluster experience I've ever had. It was just like them showing me, dickhead, you fucking lost your money. Here's this card. Here's this card. Like
Would you have felt better if it was cardboard, plastic, or
So I also
cardboard?
recently had bought packs. I was trying to get a Wembenyama rookie card, which I did. So the thrill of opening a pack, incomparable to digital.
I
cards.
agree. I agree.
There's
And
something about it. Even when you take the cards and you put it in the plastic sleeves, like this, there's something to it.
I agree.
That's also why I don't like pre rolls or like rolling machines. Like there's something better about like feeling out what you're rolling. Pause.
The physical experience and physical media, in my personal opinion, isn't going nowhere, because people are gonna not buy digital media nonstop. It limits their ability to do what they want to do with this thing that they have purchased. And that's where we're at right now. I mean, the big corporations are trying to make everything digital so they can control it to every aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's what it's just. It's really greed. Like it's just a nonstop fucking effort to reflip it, resell it. It's like
Resell
Jesus.
the same content. I mean, we have a nonstop thing of that, where they're making remakes of remakes of remakes.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. In the entertainment world,
everything is.
it's easier for them to make a movie that's a part 2 or part 3 and kind of estimate how many people are going to come see it than some new superhero. Like, I don't know if people are going to like this guy or not.
What they say.
But we'll see the next Jackass. They know they're gonna get a few people to go see the next Jackass.
He said, as long as he keeps jumping on these rat traps, we're gonna go to see it. It doesn't even matter. Johnny Knoxville, if you watching this and you make Jackass
18.
it doesn't even matter. We're still
Like
gonna
same thing with
watch
like
it.
Fast and
We're still
Furious.
gonna
There's
watch this.
34 Fast and Furious movies, and they just know. Gonna get that dad with his sons. Gonna go watch that on Friday night. You know about the big popcorn, big soda. The whole fucking movie.
They won't get a dime out of me. They
No.
won't get a dime out of me.
No, you are
So they
you are
lower them ticket prices.
You
We not
never
doing
going.
that. We not doing
never
that.
going.
The last movie I seen was Doctor Strange. That was the last movie I do.
What year
remember
was that?
seeing in the movies? I have no idea. We would have to take a look
I don't-
at that.
I don't go to the movies much though because there's most movies are over an hour and a half, and I just hate to be just like locked into one place for that long. Like I'm just like, all right, let's get to the fucking point of the movie. Let's show me the plot twist here. I want to go do something else.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I
And
watch them at home. I pause it, take a smoke break.
It's much more convenient. That's one way that digital has become more convenient to us.
Certain ways, yeah.
In certain ways, they are. In certain
I like
ways
not
they're
having to look for the DVD. Just type it in search.
Doctor Strange was in 2016, so yeah, I haven't been to the movies in 8 years. It's a pretty pre-COVID, so I don't even remember.
You have no idea what the movies are like now.
So it was shut down for quite a while.
Oh my god! You could buy fucking steak at the movies now.
Steak? Well, I helped build a studio movie grill in Pennsylvania. That concept is not new.
Yeah, but they got like wild shit now.
Another episode of buying random pointless shit. This is just more pointless shit.
What do you do with this?
This is a popcorn bucket from Deadpool and Wolverine.
The popcorn goes on top of here.
I think it opens. I think it opens on the inside. I don't even fucking know.
Why?
I don't even know. I haven't opened it because I might just resell it on eBay. Because these things are going for maybe like, I could probably make like an extra $20-$30 profit off of it if I sell it after taxes or whatever. But I'm honestly thinking about keeping it because his structure,
you got a lot of shit.
The feeling of touching his face mask is actually pretty awesome. Like, this texture is so awesome. Like, hey, baby Deadpool. That texture is awesome. I know he's probably like slimy and broken underneath there, but yeah.
Just rub the bridge of his nose for 30 seconds.
Rub him for good luck before I leave?
That's funny.
Just rub him for good luck.
Oh, you really just rubbed the bridge of his nose, though.
What the hell is his name? Who played Deadpool?
Ryan Reynolds? Is that
Ryan Reynolds? Be like that every day. Love you, Ryan Reynolds. Right before I leave, and do the Sammy Sosa shit and just love you.
None of that shit. Your boy Sammy Sosa.
I mean, do you remember when he got caught corking his bat?
Yeah.
And he caught a 8-9 day suspension for corking his bat and said he didn't know?
Bro, he used to hit 500-foot bombs. He was absolutely juicing and corking.
Juicing, corking, just probably crazy all over the place.
Nobody's as good as Barry Bonds, though. Barry Bonds took that shit to another level.
Yeah, he was definitely... he holds so many records that is like...
Before he started juicing, he was still one of the greatest players. And then he was like, you know what? My last 5 years, I'm going to turn this shit the fuck up.
He holds so many records, like...
Back in the day, he could run, too. Walks. His on base percentage is nuts.
I never seen nobody get walked with the bases loaded. That was insane. They had a clip, run it back. You could run it back. There's a clip of Barry Bonds getting walked with the bases loaded. They said, nah,
we'll take one. Yeah.
We'll just give him the one run. Makes no sense to give him 4.
He put the shit in the water. It's over.
No point in giving him 4. Might as well just give him 1. Fuck
he
it.
just looked wild,
that is insane.
stocky in the batter's box too. Like he was swinging the toothpick, Paul, and we just that shit used to get the way the camera used to zoom out after the hit was mad fast. That shit was screaming out the park.
Like he could go fight MMA right afterwards, right after a baseball game. Like he had that type of build, but it's like why fight in MMA and make $100,000 a fight when I make $200,000 a game, $300,000 like it was just insane, and he was just that good that they were paying him that much money.
No, everybody was coming to see. They sold out on fucking canoes in the back because people trying to catch the home run ball in the water and shit. He was crazy.
Like I'm sure if we do the math, and even if you made $1 million a year, it'd work out to more than if you fought at $100,000. Because how many fights are you actually gonna get?
Think about how many fights are you gonna practice. It's
how
not
many
worth
fights
it.
are you gonna actually go through before a calendar year's
It's a
over?
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Think about the practice to be a professional fighter. That shit is brutal. And fucking Barry Bonds hit 3 home runs. Fucking had a beer and went to sleep at 2 a.m. talking shit.
Probably had a
You're a fighter. You gotta worry about if having sex is fucking up your legs. You gotta
dehydrate, rehydrate,
cut weight, eat mad carbs, don't eat carbs.
Worry if you're gonna catch a concussion the next day, right? Same shit.
They kick each other. They kick each other in the legs, shin on shin.
It's hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you gotta worry if you're catching a concussion. We said the same thing at the same time.
You can knee and elbow motherfuckers in the head in this sport. I don't want to play that sport.
That shit is. It is
Trying
safer
to
than
limit
boxing.
the options of those.
It is a lot safer than boxing. Boxing feels more control, but it is statistically way more safer to be an MMA fighter than it is to
maybe there isn't enough data because I don't know about that one.
There's a ton of data actually. MMA isn't something that just got overnight, because when it was overnight, they had no weight classes. You could bite somebody. There was a time when it was just barbarians going in there
doing Indian burns.
They had this one dude that they didn't even stop the fight, and he kicked him, and he kicked 3 teeth out of his mouth, and they still didn't stop the fight. He kicked 3 of his teeth out. I don't even know what the fuck, how he caught 3 teeth, because I'm pretty sure they still had mouth guards, but however it happened, he kicked 3 of his front teeth out. They still didn't call the fight. He had to finish it off with some groundwork. He had to finish it. I'm like, yo, it used to be very barbaric.
They're kneeing each other in the heads.
It's so much more.
There's only been one guy. It was Muhammad Ali that looked like he took too many hits. Everybody, George Foreman is in every fucking commercial. He's Meineke, George Foreman grill. He's doing he's fine. He boxed for like 40 years. Mike Tyson's about to box tomorrow. Or did he call out of that fight?
Well, Mike Tyson might be the exception because his fights didn't last more than 2 rounds. If Mike stood in there more than 2-3 rounds, there was a problem that night, because he was going to be the gas tanked out and have a concussion. He couldn't party the next. He was done. If his fights lasted more than like 4 rounds, bro, he was done. He couldn't party. He couldn't do his drugs and all that good stuff. But if his fights was going 1 or 2 rounds, you good. That's why
Mike was gonna put it on.
That's why he's such a good. That's why he's 50-6.
Some shit like that.
50 something.
As a kid, I used to watch him just knock motherfuckers out.
So he lost 6 rounds. He lost 6 fights, and then he was like, you know what? This is enough. Getting knocked out and going to the 12th round is enough for me. He probably should have stopped after Lennox Lewis beat his ass. But
no, you need that money. You gotta realize Mike got some financial ups and downs. You get in the ring, get yourself 10-20 million. Let me re-up real quick.
He probably should have stopped. Legacy-wise, he should have stopped after
shit
Lennox
don't matter.
Lewis.
Legacy don't pay those bills. He already had his legacy. He wasn't going to change shit with the last 3 fights.
But it got so bad that he was just getting knocked out by like low-ranked Russian fighters. And hey, Slavage, come over here. Come on, fight the Iron Man, Mike Tyson. I know he's in his 45 years old, but yeah, come fight this.
Yeah, some fat motherfucker put the beats on Mike. I was about to get in the ring myself. Mike he's one of my top athletes. Like, he's the only person in the world that I would not fight. Like, I feel like anybody.
So who do you got winning this?
I'm not touching Mike Tyson
Tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
I believe it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I just said that. I didn't know.
I believe it's tomorrow or next weekend.
I think Mike Tyson's going to win. But there's not a fight that's ever happened that I said I don't think Mike Tyson's going to win.
Okay. But would you bet on that?
Yes.
You would bet on Mike Tyson winning?
Yes.
Okay. We might have to talk a little bit later. Because there's no way. It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's a spectacle at this point. There's no way Mike Tyson is winning that.
No?
No.
Also, if you're going to bet, you got to give me the same odds or whatever the payout is that they're doing on fucking FanDuel. Because otherwise, I'll just bet with FanDuel.
I don't even know, but I believe...
We'll look it up.
I believe Jake Paul is definitely the favorite in this spectacle of a boxing match.
Yeah, I think he is the favorite, so you got to give me better odds here.
Jake Paul is good enough to be a low middle tier fighter, but he doesn't have it in him to. When he fought somebody that was a real boxer,
he got basketball players and shit.
He got beat when he fought somebody who was
Mike Tyson hits him in the body. It's a wrap. But people say that whatever boxing thing they're in, there's like loose regulation. You might be Jake Paul might be on the juice.
If you want a good idea of how that fight is gonna go, and I believe it was a draw. I don't even remember what the outcome of that fight was. Was the Roy Jones Mike Tyson when they're both flabby?
Oh yeah. No, but Roy Jones was saying he wasn't going to let Mike Tyson swing. Mike Tyson was going to fuck him up.
Yeah. You saw that podcast with him talking
about...
I
watched the fight, too. Mike Tyson looked like he was really trying to box. Roy Jones looked like he was just trying to put on a little exhibition.
He was just trying to, like,
exhibition.
Touch him up and move back, grab
jabs,
him.
hold.
Yeah,
Mike was trying to prove something, I think, to himself even.
It was...
That's dangerous. So Roy Jones did the right thing. Mike Tyson was on a search in his soul that night. He was gonna remember he was the champion if he fuck around and dance. Why would anyone fight Mike Tyson? Now you gotta be smart. I'm not fighting him. I'm like, yo, Mike, let's talk it out, man. You got first of all lower your tone.
For a payday, I might just take the L.
No, you're not gonna live,
bro. It's just a concussion, bro.
Take the payday with Mayweather.
It's just a concussion, bro. You'd rather step in the ring with Mayweather
100%.
and get a heavier concussion.
No, 100%.
You're catching a heavier concussion with Mayweather.
I'll go with Mayweather. I'll go with it with Mayweather. Mayweather weighs like 70 pounds less.
He's closer to your size. Yeah, I agree.
No, he weighs 70 pounds less than Mike Tyson.
Way harder concussion.
No, are you crazy?
If he fights like Money Mayweather,
fight like how he fought his last 3-4 fights.
His last professional fight when he was in there with
Mike Tyson. He's 250 pounds. He's knocked out men 6'6".
I'd take that knockout because it's going to be a flash knockout. Uppercut? It's going to be a one flash knockout as opposed to 12 grueling rounds catching a concussion.
I think it's the episode of Fresh Prince when he gets the allergic reaction. Oh no, it's the episode of Martin where he gets the allergic reaction. That's gonna be a face. Mike Tyson's gonna flatten that. You crazy.
Mike Tyson, I'm only gonna take maybe like 4 or 5 solid, real heavy punches from Mike, and it'll be good night. But with Mayweather, you're gonna, like you said, that episode of Martin, when he steps into the ring, you ever seen that episode of Martin when he steps into the boxing ring and his face is swollen? Yes. Your face is gonna definitely be swollen because you're just gonna get 12 grueling rounds of non-stop punishment. And it's not gonna be like he's gonna knock you out because I don't even think at a certain weight class he's knocking people out.
Floyd Mayweather?
5'8".
Floyd Mayweather Jr. is
5'8"
inches tall.
I'm 6'2". Listen, he's Mayweather. I get it. I'm also a former boxer.
No, I get that too.
I'm 6 inches on. I weigh a lot more than he does. He's gonna win, but Mike Tyson, I don't know what to do with that.
How about Canelo? He's a little bit heavier in weight. What if you go in there against Canelo?
Canelo or Mike Tyson? I just think that it's unfair. We're talking about the guy that I would never fight.
He said, if there was a payday in it, which loss would you rather
Canelo's
take?
Tough because he's still young. He gonna definitely knock a motherfucker out.
Which loss would you rather take? Canelo
I just don't want it. Where Mike Tyson hits people is just in the ribs and the fucking uppercut and the chin, and he's mean and ferocious. Like he throws his punch like he really doesn't like you.
I would take that loss because, like I said, it's gonna be a solid flash knockout as opposed to like just getting my ass.
You're gonna break your ribs.
12 solid rounds.
You're gonna be shitting out of a bag.
I mean, it'll probably take 2 body shots. Probably take 2. It depends.
He's gonna hit you, and your own elbow's gonna hit your stomach, and that's gonna be enough.
It'll definitely be like
you crazy.
Unless I make him miss a couple times, it's definitely gonna be like
the thing with Mayweather, though, right?
Double digits.
If I choose, let's go back to the Mayweather versus Tyson. The thing with that one is
3 punches landed in the fight card.
6 seconds. Mayweather is built for 12, 15 rounds. Pause. I'm no good. After the third round, he's gonna hit me with the flash mob, but them shits is gonna be like a kitten's paws compared to the bear swing of Mike Tyson.
I agree that
he's gonna cause me a body shot that's gonna make me put my knee down. Where Mike Tyson hit me with a body shot, well, I squeeze up and like you look crazy. You gotta be on the internet looking like Pacquiao.
He's gonna hit you a lot harder. Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I still think that I'd rather catch.
Rupture your spleen, dog.
I'd rather catch a solid knockout as
fuck?
opposed to catching a grueling 12 rounds of solid head trauma.
Would you
just
rather get hit by a pitch by
nonstop.
Randy Johnson or tackled by Ray Lewis? Like straight, like you just caught the ball and you're a little bit in the air and he comes flying in, so your ribs are exposed. Would you want that one or get hit by a pitch, Randy Johnson?
I think I'd rather get tackled.
That's crazy. I think I would take the hit by a pitch.
I mean, it depends. Where are we getting hit? That's actually very circumstantial to this. Because if it's maybe in my thigh somewhere where I can just, maybe hopefully eat it. Maybe hopefully eat it. I don't know. Somewhere maybe.
How about like
but
mid back rib area? Like a little bit behind the ribs, but not directly on the back. Like you was there and you winced like this, so it got a little bit behind the ribs. I think that's a fair spot to be dangerous, but also compete with.
I'm losing a rib, but I think I agree. I think I would take.
I don't know. Maybe you are because like.
I think I agree because if I get tackled too hard by Ray Lewis, both
You
sides
also
of my
got the
rib
impact
cages,
of the fucking ground that you gotta hit.
both sides of my rib cages are gonna get splattered over there. I was only under the assumption that I was gonna either get hit in the head or somewhere deadly, but no, if I get hit in the ribs, I'm losing one rib as opposed to losing both sides of my ribs. So I definitely take the pitch.
I got another one for you actually. Would you rather lose your WWF Championship belt to Rikishi and his finishing move, or to China and her finishing move?
Remind me again what
I think China with the low blow right in the dick. And
the low blow in the dick.
I don't remember Gold Dust's finishing move. I would have threw him in the mix.
It was definitely something very, very along the lines of gay. But
along the lines of gay, it's crazy.
But I think I would go with the Rikishi.
Nah, bro, you can't be serious.
Or a low blow. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. Yeah. Maybe you're right.
That's not a hard one at all.
Maybe you're right. Maybe the low blow would. I'm used to getting hit. What am I saying? Yeah,
Yo,
I'm used to getting hit in the
that's,
lower region.
Why?
So
First of all, that's crazy. But
I don't know why I said that first. You said that's a terrible answer. He said nah.
Oh my god.
That was a terrible answer.
Yo, bro.
Nah, yeah. I'm more used to getting hit in the balls. I think I'll take that. I don't know why I thought that would be.
I don't know why you
better.
keep answering it like that though. Like I'm more used to getting hit in the ball. Just be like, it's not a man's ass in my face, and that's enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like, what if you've never been hit in the balls before? Would you then go Rikishi because you didn't? You say you kind of basing it contingent on a couple of bad accidents.
I mean, I'm just saying,
bro.
Just pretend it's a woman. Be like that.
Bro.
I'm crying.
Yo. He said there was wrestlers online that said that like.
I mean, it's all pretend, right? So I'm pretending it's a
real
woman.
ass. He would like try to keep it fresh though, apparently. So you might be alright.
I'm crying. Nah.
Yo, that was nuts. I was just for the record. I was gonna go with the China low blow. That was my answer.
China. It's hilarious.
That's.
I mean, we used to watch wrestling growing up. We watched a lot of wrestling. Who was your favorite wrestler?
So it's always Bill Goldberg and The Rock. So Bill Goldberg carried my fanhood for a certain amount of years until I started watching more WWF. I was WWE. I loved the NWO, Red and Black.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was just The Rock is his cadence. He just got in a ring and it was 5 minutes of him doing a fucking monologue every time. He's fucking smelling the air, smelling the fucking pyro.
You should watch the Vince McMahon thing where they run through how Vince McMahon came into power all the way up into her sexual allegations and everything in between.
Yeah, I heard he out here wilding. He's like the wrestling Diddy.
Yeah, he probably is. That's why he's not out here no more. But he's definitely the wrestling Diddy.
That clip of him when he runs into the ring and blows both his hamstrings is crazy. Or quads or some shit like that.
They speak about wild things. They talk about how he had an incest type of skit for his daughter, and that was gonna be their main thing, and they had to scrap it because they said, "Nah, it's completely inappropriate to
What
have
the fuck is you
an
doing?
incest storyline." So
Somebody
that was
get
their
the
big.
pen away from him.
That was his big thing. His big.
That was his contribution.
He was trying to have a incest type of storyline, and yeah, everybody pushed back against it. But they've had some lot of wild stuff. I mean, right now they got cocaine.
That's the name of a wrestler.
It's Kane, but white. You ain't see him?
No.
You ain't see the cocaine?
No.
It's not Kane anymore, because now he's white. He's cocaine.
Oh, it's like Diet Coke type of shit. Like it's like, all right. So he's white.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. And he throws up a bunch of powder. So
You
he's
remember-
definitely
all
on the
right.
Coca-Cola.
Now this is crazy. I'm sorry to
He's
take it
definitely-
here, but this is where my brain went because you mentioned I pictured Kane now in a white uniform. Do you remember? Because we grew up at the project. Do you remember having roaches, and every now and then you saw like a white roach?
I did.
Yeah, white roaches. There was one out of every like 1,000, but there was white roaches out there.
I think they were just born. I think that's what it was.
I don't
They
know.
were mostly that. I think they were just born roaches.
know.
I don't know. I don't
I
know the
know
anatomy of
classification.
roaches, but yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's like the black squirrel of roaches.
I remember one day I woke up and I was living in my mom's house in the projects, and I opened the door to go to work. It's like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and a white cat runs by me.
Oh shit!
And I'm like, what the hell? And then I go back, I can't find the shit. So I'm just thinking like, yo, maybe my mom will see it later. I gotta go to work. So I go to work, I get to work, I call my mom and tell her, yo, be on the lookout for this cat. Let me know if you see it. Probably take it out the house. So she calls me later on when it's almost time to go for me to go back home, and she tells me, hey, there's no cat here. And I'm like, what the hell? Was I imagining a cat? Like, what's going on right now? I know I didn't imagine this. So I finally get home, and I'm looking all over the house. Can't find this cat. Don't see anything. Later on in the day, I just sit down, start watching TV, whatever I'm doing that day, and I start hearing faint noises of meow, meow. I'm like, okay, I'm not bugging out. I know that shit's somewhere. That shit's trapped and something's going on right now. But so I'm just searching all over the house. Finally, I get to the kitchen and I get to the back of the stove. And I peer behind the back of the stove. The shit is dirty because we living in the projects. The shit, with my mom, she was like semi-hoarder. It was a hard time. Anyways, I peer behind the stove, and there is a cat looking up, squished between the wall and the stove. Like, looks up at me, and it has, like, just red all over. I guess it ate a rat or something, a mice or something, and there was red across
Like
his
blood.
face. Yeah, just smeared like war paint coming across his face, and it's just meowing at me, begging it to take it up out of there. And I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna let it die back there. So I'm like, yo, if you bite me, bro, we fighting for real. Like, we about to fight. But
Cat would have fucked you up, man. It's a killer cat.
I grabbed him by both sides, bare hand too. Just grabbed him by both sides. I had a cat before, so it wasn't like I wasn't
This is crazy.
used to handling cats. So I just grabbed him on both sides and picked him up, pulled him up out, and let him chill or whatever. Washed him up, and he was there for a little while. I contacted my ex-girlfriend, like, yo, what should we do with this cat?
Where
We
the
already
fuck he
had a
come
cat.
from?
I have no idea. You know how you lived in the same floor. We lived on the
Yeah,
same floor.
that-
You know how our hallways is set up. I literally just opened my door, cat ran through, and that was it. And I was like, yo, and called my ex-girlfriend. She tells me we can't keep another cat. I asked my mom if she wants to keep it. She says she'll keep it for a little while, but she can't keep a cat. And they eventually give it back to whatever ASPCA or wherever they take rescued cats, but she ended up giving it away.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
We went from cocaine to there, to cocaine to white roaches to there. That was a great transfer.
Yeah. I mean, I have a gang of stories that happen in the projects. I was just speaking about this story the other day where I came out of my door to go to work. Again, same scenario. I'm getting out of my house, and it looks like there's a pile of clothes by the elevator. You know how the hallways are. It's just a long hallway, and there's doors along the sides of the doors, and there's two doors facing each other down this hallway with two elevators on both sides. So I come out of my door and I see what appears to be a pile of clothes. Walk up to it, press the elevator. I had a joint rolled, and I was getting ready to smoke and go to work and do what it does. So I press the elevator, and this pile of clothes emerges up to be a man. It was literally a man. He just got up. He was sleeping there. I thought it was a pile of clothes. Man just emerges. He gets up like the Undertaker or fucking, I don't know. It was just a pile of clothes. I don't know, one of them fucking old magic movies. Anyways, he gets up, and I press the elevator. I'm like, oh shit, whatever. Press the elevator. We just standing there waiting for the elevator. I got a spliff, and we get inside the elevator. Pissy as usual. The elevator's pissy, and we get in the elevator, and I press the ground floor. All right. And he's like, yo, bro, you want to light that spliff and pass it to me? I was like, wait, what?
That's a crazy...
Pass you the spliff? What are you talking about, my man? You was just sleeping in the staircase. Like, what are you talking about?
You got hit this, bro.
Like, what are you talking about? So
that's so crazy.
I tell him, I'm not trying to fight him, but I'm just like, yo, bro, like, I'm not trying to share my spliff. I'm about to go to work. Like, I'm not trying to... Oh, you too good to share the spliff? Like, what's good with you? And he starts cursing at me. And I'm like, bro, I really don't want to do this right now. Like, I got some money to make. Like, I really don't want to do this right now.
Tight, pissy elevator.
So, I was just like, yo, bro, like, relax. Like, bro, like, yo. And so, we get off the elevator, and he's still, like, kind of cursing. I just go about my way. And then later on, I see the nigga. He's from the neighborhood, but I didn't really confront him again. We just kind of like locked eyes and keep on walking. Because, again, I really do not want to fight with somebody who's sleeping in the staircase.
Like that, yeah.
I'm not trying to fight nobody.
So Dave get up in a couple hours. I'm going to try to get that morning blunt walk with him.
Nigga know where I live. Like, I'm not trying to fight this guy, bro. You be an enemy forever that has nothing else to do.
Do you remember that story where the dude must have slipped something in that girl's drink before she dipped and came back over to your crib?
I haven't spoken about that one in a long time.
So, in this one, you were there, so I guess I'm telling the viewers. This is like a long time ago, like before, like this is like over 10 years ago. We're in the place in LES, whatever. Dave, he's talking to some girl he just met. It looks like they all want to go back to Dave's house. She's with a friend. I wasn't really talking to the friend, but I was going to play the fourth man to even things out. They want to go to Dave's house, smoke and chill, take the night there or whatever. So we go to Dave's crib, and before we leave, the girl is like, hey, this guy just bought me a drink. I just want to finish this drink, and then we'll all be out. So you guys kind of went more towards the exit. I kind of stood back a little bit. She finished the drink. She left, came, whatever. We now in your crib, smoking. She then goes to the bathroom. Out of nowhere, from what I remember, your mom starts, she starts yelling in Spanish. This bitch, she's on the floor, face down, in her own like spit up, like twitching. And we're like, what the fuck happened? And your mom just like, yeah, I better figure this out or I'm calling the cops. Got some dead chick in my fucking floor. And so like we trying to figure out what happened. We figure out the rest of the story in our head later on. Like we just don't know. We thought maybe she got drunk too quick or something, but like she was totally normal. She was fine. She was totally fine. She wasn't even drunk, like not even like in the slightest. She was super sober. So what we had to do was we had to ask a friend to show her where she lived, and we threw that bitch on her shoulders, and she was mad heavy. She was a bigger chick.
Man, we walked her out like Weekend at Bernie's,
yeah,
bro.
Yo, we had to.
It was like, put her back in David's room. I was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I didn't want to fucking hold fucking.
We walked out like
Frank
Weekend at
Thomas
Bernie's.
In the fucking elevator. That's why.
We walked out like Weekend at Bernie's. Go ahead.
She was the center for the Liberty. And so we had to walk her. Luckily she lived in the same projects. We had to walk her to her crib, lay her on her bed, right, and then like leave her in her apartment with the door just like unlocked. Thank God we was with her friend because what the fuck would we have done? She would have just had to sleep in your bed. You had to call the EMT.
Man.
You gotta call the hospital for that. Keep your hands clean. You know?
Yeah.
That was a crazy
One thing I do remember about that night as well. We were trying to wake her up when she was face down, passed out in my mother's bathroom, and we tried to wake her out. And once my mother woke up and started cursing and yelling in Spanish, she woke up like the Undertaker again. She just did doom and just popped right back up on that bathroom floor in the middle of vomit and all that good stuff, and just we was like, oh, that's a sign right there. Let's pick her up, and we just mustered the courage. And niggas was like, yeah, let's run her back into Dave's room. I was like, no way. Let's keep her walking straight. March right up out that door. Hell no.
At the time, we just thought maybe she just drank too much, but after we thought about it, like the next couple of days, like, no, she wasn't even drunk. And I was like, nah, he must have slipped something in there. Like, fuck it. If y'all gonna take her, good luck.
First of all, I don't even know because she wasn't that drunk, but we were only there for a slight amount of time before she excused herself to go to the bathrooms. And we were only in the bar with them for a small amount of time. So we couldn't grasp how intoxicated she was at the time, because it'd be strange for someone to drug her and us to have to carry her home. Like, it's a lot with that. Like,
I don't know. It makes sense to me.
It, like, I've never
Because she walked to your crib perfectly fine, and she told us she was going to just finish the drink. Everything seemed fine. Like, it was no notion that anybody was drunk.
She was a little bit intoxicated, as was I. As far as I remember that night, I was slightly intoxicated, so was she. But it wasn't like something noticeable. But again, I was only there before a small amount of time before we actually decided to go back to my mom's place. And I can't grasp it. And again, the concept of drugging a woman has never understood it, because like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to carry this chick out on my shoulders? Like how am I supposed to get this drugged woman from this bar?
No, I think he did that to kind of
to my place. I mean, I guess I would understand in someone's house. I mean, not advocating for it, but I'm just saying I understand in the house because they're already in your house. But as opposed to being outside, I can't Fred Flintstone her and put her on my shoulders and bring her back to my house.
But I think he did that to like hate on us because he knew she was leaving. So it's like, all right, like,
you just wanted to drop the 300-pound wrestler on our shoulders like that.
Said, you're not gonna enjoy this.
He said,
I bought her a drink, and I ain't get nothing.
He said, you guys gonna have a bad night. No worries about this.
That's what I think what it was.
I was like, oh man, but
I wasn't even gonna do nothing with her.
I was
gonna smoke a blunt, and I was gonna get my ass back to Brooklyn.
That was a wild one, because we actually tucked her in bed, and then a few months later, when I did see her around the neighborhood, I tried to like, hey, how you doing? You remember me? I put you in, and I guess it is a little bit embarrassing.
Oh, now she probably didn't remember.
I guess it's a little bit embarrassing, or maybe she didn't remember. You're right. That's actually really good, because I tried to say what's up to her, and she looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, you know what? You're not even my type. This isn't even worth the interaction right now. You know, this effort is not even worth it. So, yeah.
Good thing she had a good friend with her. I don't know what the fuck we would have did. You had to call the ambulance.
I mean, lucky thing she lived in the neighborhood, because I don't even think a freaking cab is gonna take her like that.
Nah, you gotta call the EMT.
Throw this 300-pound woman in the backseat of your car. Don't worry. When y'all get there, she's gonna be conscious enough to get up and get out of your car.
Hold it down for a little bit.
Just hold it down.
That was a crazy one.
You got some Uber drivers. They be like, yes, no problem. This is no problem.
That's crazy.
This is no problem. I'm crying.
That's wild out there.
That was many times that we went to like 1-in-1 and having drinks at 1-in-1 in La Nina. Do you remember the time we got jumped in La Nina? You want to talk about that one, and then I'll give you my perspective of
Yeah,
what
man.
happened.
So I remember it clear as day. I was fucking standing because I was standing in the area where it's like the seating is like made into the wall, but I'm standing, but where the seat begins is like where my legs are, and I see this dude like bullying through the crowd. He, like literally, like he's just shoving people, like making it like a mosh pit almost. And I see that I might be within the vicinity of this guy's antics. So I'm like, all right, the fuck am I going to do? I don't want him to shove me and I can fucking sit down. So as he comes through, he tries to kind of do it. Like he's muscling through, but I had my hand there already. So I nudged him a little bit back and he turned around and I was like, come on, man, keep on going. And he had said, I don't know, he did not keep on going. And I just immediately like went for his throat. But I had a little bit longer of a reach. So as he was going for mine, he wasn't really getting mine. And then I remember you was like, he was like, D, no! And you was like, at first you was like on me to stop, it felt like. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I turned around and it was like the entire lounge was with him. It was like, it was just a lot of people. And I remember at that point, I was like, oh, nah. So I was trying to like push people back. Like, nah, it's cool. Then it felt like somebody from the third layer of these motherfuckers threw like some weak shit. Then somebody else threw something. And then it just started feeling like a cartoon where you just I was on the ground. But I remember being on the ground because at one point I was covering and somebody had kicked me on the side and I went to go down, but I grabbed the original guy with me as I went down. And I remember like trying to climb up his body. The motherfuckers was, they was kicking me, punching me in the back of the head, and I was just about to get to him, and my body was like, you got to cover up. You're going to get put out. So I covered up for a while, and just the hits started feeling less and less and less, and so many other side fights was breaking out that the crowd that was jumping me dissipated. And I remember I got up and I was woozy, and the bartenders are looking at me. I think he was already outside by then. Bartenders look at me, and I was like, and I still look better than them. And in my head, I swear to God, I was gonna go outside, and it was gonna be I thought I was the Undertaker. I swear to God, I was gonna go outside and raise hell. Like, all right, let's get it. I thought I was gonna have some space and time out there and get it shaking. I went outside, and the shit looked like a war zone. I saw somebody was squared up with somebody else, and somebody grabbed them and threw him into like the hot dog stand or halal car. Yep. Like, so for background, this is like the neighborhood I grew up. So other semi fights broke out because people were trying to help me, not in the sense of like jumping in, but more like trying to get people off me, and that turned into other side fights. And then like another motherfucker got like knocked, like he didn't get knocked out cold, but he got hit clean and like went down. And I was like, oh, like this shit is good. Somebody grabbed like a garbage can or something and threw it at someone else. I said, nah, I ain't got it today. But I had one of their cell phones. I don't know if you remember that part. There's a part 2 to the story.
Yeah, I do remember you.
I had one of their cell phones.
I do remember you had gotten somebody's cell phone, some bum
it was
ass
a trap,
Sprint.
Yeah, there was a trap phone. It
was
a trap phone
and shit.
So that phone, you could get a lot done with a trap phone, somebody's trap phone.
I do remember most of that night. We were hanging there, and we had some other friends there that had just left.
That's true, too.
We ended up being just me and Damien, and we were standing there, and a group of rowdy from the hood, you can already imagine what type of people ordering drinks. Yo, give me fucking drinks for everybody. And I'm just minding my business, trying not to look over there, but them people were just coming through, and they rowdy. They're with females and males. So around the time when you were talking about, I did peep exactly what he's talking about. He's standing next to the wall on the opposite side of the club. We're kind of like facing each other, but on opposite sides of the bar. And this guy is just roughing his way through type of thing. And you guys eventually locked on to each other because he was trying to get through. So you grabbed him, he grabbed you. And he was like, yo, bro, put your elbow down. Like don't rough your way through. And nigga said, nah, fuck that. He put his elbow back up. And, well, let me rewind a second. When they started grabbing each other, I ran over there. And like he said, I was like, yo, chill. They mad deep. Like, let's not do this right now.
None of that.
He was not listening. Anyways, the nigga said, nah, fuck that. And he put his elbow up. And all I remember is his hand going across this guy's face.
Oh, my hand?
And yeah, your hand going
I
across.
don't even remember that.
Your hand going across his face and mushing him. And as soon as you mushed him, I got hit from everywhere. I got hit. He got hit in front of me because I'm trying to pull him away from him. But he's standing in front of me, and I'm trying to pull him away. And as I'm getting simultaneously hit like this, he's also getting simultaneously hit in a bunch of different directions. So
I didn't get hit anywhere here, though. I'll tell you that. Nothing here got hit. I got hit, like, up here. And I was doing good for the front of the face. Pause.
I do remember one particular shot going somewhere here, but I was too busy getting hit as well. And I wasn't really trying to, like, let off as much offense as you were letting off. Because I was more along
I know
the
what
lines
to
of
do.
doing
I was
this.
trying to fight my way out.
I was doing
But I didn't
this.
stand a chance.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of this.
I was hoping somebody get a little scared and not want to be involved in it if they see the other side swinging.
I was doing a lot of this while you were letting off some offense. And I was like,
There
yo,
was a
bro,
lot
bro,
of them,
bro, bro,
man.
bro. And I run around you as they're starting to throw bottles and chairs.
Oh, yeah.
So they're throwing bottles and chairs, and I remember you
heard bottles,
tossing
yeah.
somebody, and you're right behind me or like not that far away from me as I'm making my way to. There's only one way out. There's a small
only one way
exit,
out, one way
and there's
in.
a bar. There's only so many feet between that bar and the wall where you can get out of the place. So I was ahead of him already because I was already blocking, and I get out the door, and this guy is just as he's coming out. He says whatever. He's coming out, and we get outside, and they're still like throwing bottles and chairs, and then somebody else comes outside and they start arguing with other people. We're like a little bit further down the block because we walked up the block. As soon as we got out, we walked a little bit further up the block. We just got our ass beat. And they're like, me and you, and then you walked up the block and you was like, yo, I got this cell phone. I got this nigga's cell phone. We about to find out who these motherfuckers is. And then they, as that was happening and we were walking up the block, they were coming out of the bar. There was a bunch of them coming out the bar. They came out the bar, and me and you was like across the street. I'm like, yo, D, let's go. And like, nah, I'm about to run up on this nigga and fuck this nigga up.
Throw
like,
him back and come through, sweep one and
he was
be
like,
out.
Like, yo,
Try
I'm
to
about
get one with a running start.
I'm about
And
to
just
go back
don't
over
stop
there.
running after that.
And he was like, I'm about to go right back over there. I'm about
That's
to
why I
snuff
don't
them. I'm
carry
like, yo,
a gun.
bro.
I would have shot everyone.
I'm like, yo, D, chill,
I would have
bro.
walked right up. That's why I don't carry a gun.
Yeah,
'Cause
it
I
brings
would've
that energy
shot,
too.
I would have shot people that night.
Exactly,
I was
it brings
getting
that
jumped.
energy.
It wasn't like an even fight. It was.
But it brings that energy. You see how we got away? That's why I always
Yeah.
say that when you bring if you have a
You
gun,
got the big joker, so you're like, I'm gonna make you pay
you have
dearly.
when you have a gun, you more or less bring that energy towards you. You might not want it. You might be one of those people that say it's for self-defense, but in one way or another, you bring that
At
energy
some
towards
point,
you.
you're not even defend. Like it's
You-
very rare that it's like.
You see how
you
we were
do or
able to get
die.
away, and you say, if I'm in the middle of getting jumped and I could pull out my equalizer, I might just do the same thing. It's not unheard of.
See, I never heard the story from your perspective, and I like your perspective a little bit. I gave a little bit more of a fight there, at least, than what I was saying. I was trying to block, and then I got kicked, and then I grabbed somebody, and I threw him down with me, and tried to climb him.
And then we get we're maybe half a block away, maybe by where this other bar is by Karma's, and we're still kind of like behind cars, and I'm keep on trying to remind you to let's go, this shit done. And he's still watching them, but as he's watching them, we're watching them. They start getting into a fight with these white boys. They start fighting these white boys. They start arguing. Something happens, and like you said, the nigga got threw into the halak cart. One guy got threw into the halak cart, and I remember another dude getting knocked out. And you was like, yo, this is our opportunity. We can fight with them. I'm like, yo, bro.
Team up!
I'm like, yo, bro, this shit is we
You got the same oppressor.
we just
We
caught
can
a
link up like two foreign nations.
we just
I was trying,
caught a
dog.
few hard blows, bro. I'm done. Like I don't even want to.
Like I don't take losses, and
I didn't take many hard blows because, like I said, I was on the defense mode, so I
took
didn't
some
take
hits.
many
I
hard
took some
blows.
hits.
But you were doing offense, so you ended up eating some hits. I remember we got back to my crib. You showed me your back was like bruised up and shit.
I had actual you could tell which shoes. I was like, that is an Air Force One and that is a Timberland.
Other than the original few punches around the head and face area that I caught, I didn't really catch
instantly,
much.
I didn't know that because I had so much going on. Instantly, they started swinging on you.
Just mad blocking and turtling up. Just a lot of turtling up and pushing forward as I'm turtling up. So that's how I got up out of there. And as I get around you, I'm like, yo, bro, let's go.
I couldn't have gotten out of there.
I still see you throwing.
I couldn't have been able to get out of there, though. I would have to try to get through them.
And, but they started getting crazy. Like I said, they started throwing chairs and bottles and stuff.
I feel
it was not.
Like, we got jumped. Like,
you get hit with a bottle, your equilibrium's going to go off.
How many people would you say? Like, I always had, it's definitely more than, I would say more than 7 people that they had.
It was probably 5 dudes, and
it was like 30 of them, man.
It was like 5 or 6 dudes, and it was like 4 girls, something like
girls
that.
Girls were swinging too?
It was a close. Like they started throwing bottles and chairs, bro.
I felt like
they started throwing bottles and chairs.
Everyone was hitting me with all 4 limbs.
I even remember a couple girls trying to throw kicks at me, trying to hit me with the forward kick as I'm trying to like block other incoming.
Did you playing Street Fighter? I didn't have nothing. You said she was low kicking, and I was like, what the fuck is?
Nah, she was not low kicking, but she was kicking upwards at me as I'm doing this. So it's more in a small fetal position type of thing where I'm close to the ground. So other people were swinging downwards and throwing hammer fists. And I seen a couple girls throwing forward kicks either. They're not throwing punches. Their punches aren't going to get through. There's other men in the way. Mm-hmm. But they were trying to like sneak in the kicks and shit. And then at one point they figured out they got bottles and chairs. So they started throwing bottles like in the direction of where we were fighting.
Yeah, I heard some bottles hit around me.
They threw bottles in the direction where we were fighting.
They didn't even really break. Like somebody broke, but a lot of the ones I heard hit the wall.
Bounce off the table.
It was just bouncing everywhere. And I remember saying to myself, I hope nobody don't grab that fucking bottle and get crazy.
That's why I was like, yo, we need to get up out of here.
Kill them.
This is not a controlled fight. It's different when we're in a controlled fight, but yeah. At any point in time, we could get hit with a blunt object. It's happened to me before, where you get hit with a blunt object and the lights just go out.
Yeah.
Never had that happen?
Nah.
Yeah.
And then you just wake up?
Yeah. I mean, my story...
What the fuck they hit you with?
My story... Well, that happened to me. I used to be hustling down in 150th and Broadway. I used to hustle on those blocks and stuff when I was younger, maybe like 17, 18, 16... And we always used to go back and forth between the blocks and everybody else and all this other drama, getting arrested and bullshit. So one day I'm just closing up shop. Everybody finished closing up shop. We counted. We gave the money back. It was a certain way they did things. So there was a pot and it got counted every night. And it was very not sophisticated, but business orientated. And yeah, so I gave the money back, and it was the end of the night. Everybody said peace out. They split hands, and we all went our separate ways. I stopped at a smoke shop on the corner of 150th and Broadway, which is around the corner. And they have these little turnstile things at a certain time because they don't want to open the door. You got to tell them what you want, and they flip the little thing. You put your money on, they give you your stuff, and they flip it back. So as I'm doing that, I'm not paying attention. A crowd forms around me. I fucking turn around, and it's a bunch of people from opposite blocks or whatever. They talking crazy or whatever. One person is like, yo, bro, like, we about to get everything in your pockets. We about to snatch your watch off you. Like, we about to take everything off you. Like, just give it up easy type shit. I'm just going to go in your pockets type shit. As soon as he went in my pockets, all I remember is hitting him. Hit him with a right hook. Or it was more like an uppercut. Anyways, I hit him with one of these, and he kind of stumbled back. And I kind of moved forward to try to keep throwing punches, but I got hit with something real blunt in the back of the head. Just one time. I don't know what it was. To this day I have no idea what it was. I just remember
Like the TV went out.
the thing just closed. The whole world. I was falling, so it was going to the side as well,
Like
but it
somebody
was just
dropped the camera?
closing. Yeah, kind of like that, and it was just closing, and it closed, and I woke up in the hospital, two broken ribs.
They kept on fucking you up after you was done?
Yeah. Two broken ribs, a concussion, black eyes on both sides, busted eye vessels on both sides, 2 stitches in my eyebrow. That was pretty much it. I think that was pretty much it. Two and two. I had 2 broken ribs on each side.
That's kind of
Busted
crazy.
eye vessels, a concussion, and
The whole
a couple
neighborhood came
stitches.
by and took a swing.
They must have just went to town on me. They must have went to
Yeah,
town
it was
on
over.
me.
It was a 2-hit move. It felt like, you know.
They went to town
Did
on
they take
me.
they take your watch and all
They
that?
they took everything.
You had a lot of money on you?
Nah, maybe like $40 and some weed. We talking about the ZA days back when Uptown had the piff. So it was a good $20 bag and $40. It got me for like a good $60 and maybe like $100 watch, a G-Shock watch or something like that. And yeah, but it was back in those times when piff was like the expensive thing. They had like the mango piña, or they had the greens, the Arizona.
Yeah.
Remember the days they had the Arizona and all them other $5 bags. It was those times.
Crazy
So,
times. I never knew that though. That was a wild ass story. Damn.
that was Christmas time. I woke up maybe, I think it was either Christmas Eve or a couple days before Christmas when I woke up in the hospital after that happened. And they had told me I had been out for quite a few hours actually. I wasn't out for a full 24 hours, but I was definitely out for quite a few hours with like mild concussion to mild to severe concussion. And when I woke up, my sister, my brother-in-law, my mother, there's a few people around, and my brother-in-law just tells me like, "Yo, bro, stop the bullshit. Like, you really gonna get hurt, end up in jail, bro. Like, it's done, bro. Like, I know you making money over there, but it's not worth it. Like, come be my helper. It's only $8 an hour. You got to get on the train. You got to be there for 7 in the morning. And train ride is like an hour and a half to get to the Bronx from the Lower East Side, all the way on the last stop of like the 2 train or some
That's
shit,
crazy.
all the way up there. And yeah, but I had enough at that point. I really did.
You were sitting there like AZ and paid in full. Like he was all bandaged up.
I just, yeah.
Damn. Man,
So
nah.
at that time I had enough, and I decided to go work as an electrician, and I worked for a terrible place, made terrible money, but the first thing I did was learn what every piece was, what every piece that goes to electrical is. Once I get that, I can go be a helper anywhere else. It does not matter. As long as I know what they're asking me for, they tell me go get a BX connector. They tell me to go get a Romex connector. They tell me to go get
Yeah, I
12
guess you
to
speak the
MC,
language and that helps a lot, right? You know, the
12 to
language of it.
MC. Once you know what every piece
Yeah.
is, you can then go about taking every piece and finding its use for it. It'll start with somebody just telling you, hand me that piece. You better know exactly what this
Yeah.
piece is, but you know,
No, I get it.
a metal piece, and that's where it starts. So, and then ever since there, I just kept on going with that, and I've always been into computers, electronics. Like I said, it is.
Yeah, I
always
should
been-
think for sure.
It's always been definitely. I
Yeah.
don't even know.
I think we got some good shit though in there. At least something. Definitely a